Hi, Pat the Podcast Editor here. With 2023 just around the corner and all the business gurus and social media influencers trying to predict the wacky trends and next big things, in today's episode, Dan shares his tried and tested top tools, tricks and tips for marketing managers in 2023.
All the things that I'm about to share with you, or we're about to share with you, are things that we use and we've got huge amounts of value from. So it's not just random things we're coming up with. It's like we use these day in, day out, and they're really good.
This is like such a cheat code for marketing.
And as always, Lloyd is here to provide and impart his wisdom upon you all.
Snaptic sounds like what your granddad calls Snapchat.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Lloyd.
That's all right.
And drops a little humble flex for good measure.
Multiple customers have had millions of pounds of sales through the videos that we create for them and run as ads. Sometimes we run the campaigns for them. Sometimes they have that resource in-house and just use our great creative video to get all of that money.
Now, before we dive in, we'd like to take a second to thank our sponsors, Adobe Express. Adobe Express allows you to quickly and easily create standout social graphics, logos, flyers, and more on web and mobile. Click the link in the description to try Adobe Express today. Right, let's get stuck in. This is episode 125 of the Business Anchors podcast.
We're just a couple of business anchors. Welcome to the Business Anchors podcast. This jingle is slightly too long. This jingle is slightly too long.
Dan, what tools, resources and tips do you...
I'm going to struggle with this.
Dan, I was just thinking, what tools, resources and tips do you have for marketing managers who look... Oh,
You can't speak.
sorry. I'm
Can
sorry.
we keep this in the pod, please? No, keep this in the pod. Just do it.
Okay. Dan, I was just wondering, what tools, resources and tips do you have for marketing managers who are looking to get outstanding results in 2023? That's just a question that I thought of myself.
I didn't write that in the notes or anything.
No.
Well, Lloyd, as you just came up with that question on the spot,
Yeah.
I thought it was a good question. And in this episode, we're going to be going through all of the tools, tips and resources, or whatever you said, that are
Easy
going to
for
be
you to say.
that are going to be useful for marketing managers in 2023.
In our last podcast episode, I brought up that like Dan Knowlton, the brand, is becoming a really good source online for like tips and free resources and stuff. And in this episode, you are literally
Yeah.
covering that. I say you should be we really shouldn't. I'm just preempting how little value I'll bring to this. But yeah, we're doing exactly what
Yeah.
I said.
Everyone loves a good like tools episode where you share, because all the things that I'm about to share with you, or we're about to share with you, mainly me, are things that we use and we've got huge amounts of value from. So it's not just random things we're coming up with. It's like we use these day in, day out, and they're really good.
Yeah.
So, Lloyd, are you going to do a radio?
Sorry, it just made me laugh because I said how little value, and then after you spoke, I just said, yeah. And the value will increase throughout the episode, I promise. Hopefully.
So, coming in at number one, first resource marketing managers that is going to be brilliant for you, a website called marketingexamples.com. Now, what this website is a whole range of different marketing campaign case studies that are broken down in a really simple and visual way to show you what they are, why they worked, and what you can do to emulate the success of them. So like every marketing manager wants to get good results from their marketing. This shows you examples from lots of different industries of how other people and brands are doing it. So
This is like such a cheat code for marketing, because I think one of the hardest things to do in any aspect of life, basically, is just to create something amazing from absolutely nothing. Like you've got nothing, zero, and then you're like, I'm going to think in my head this whole thing up that's going to be the best thing ever. Whereas actually a much better thing to do is look at what other people have done, the best examples of what other people have done,
Get inspo.
and then think, okay, get inspiration from these great things, and then how can I make it even better? And then you're already 80% of the way there, and then you're going to add your special sauce and your experience and your creativity. And it just makes so much more sense than trying to work it all out from zero. You're holding yourself back if you're not looking for inspiration like this.
Yep. And a bonus tip for that one, if you go on his website, it's a young guy that runs it. He's got a newsletter where he sends an email, I think it's once a week or month, with all the best examples that he's got. So straight to your inbox.
Is it nearly as good as the Friday Club?
It's not quite as good as the Friday Club. What's the Friday Club, Lloyd? You can't speak.
The Friday Club is a great email you can get in your inbox every Friday, and it's got all the best tools, resources, and good stuff for you from Dan and our team.
Yes. So, moving on. Thanks, Lloyd.
That's all right.
So that's the first one, marketingexamples.com. Every marketing manager have that bookmark it in whatever browser you use so that you can get lots of inspiration from there. Second one, Richard Vanderblom's Richard Vanderblom's 57-page LinkedIn algorithm report. We did a whole episode on this, episode 122, where we broke down that report. There's tons of practical, useful insights that will help you get better results from LinkedIn. Well worth looking at. He analyzed over 10,000 LinkedIn posts, spent 4 months, create over 1,200 hours of time creating this report, and it's incredibly useful. Better than most paid things that I've seen out there.
This is why the business anchors get so much value. They don't have to pay anything, and they get all of this free goodness when other people are trying to flog them courses that aren't as valuable as this stuff.
Yes, they do. But the reason we do this mainly, Lloyd, is because we do actually get business from this as well. So it is good for us as well, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I'm not.
Some of you are going to become customers, all right?
Purely for enjoyment. But yeah, I just think this stuff's really good.
Good. Thank you, Lloyd.
That's right.
Coming at number 3. You ready?
Yeah.
Talkwalker's 93-page social media trends 2023 global report.
Didn't we hear about that last week?
We heard about that last week. We've just, released previous to this week, a whole episode breaking down the key takeaways from that.
Actually, I've still got my can of drink here from last week, if you're watching the video.
Well, Lloyd, we did just record it about 10 minutes ago, but people aren't supposed to know that.
Right. Okay. I thought that'd been there a while. Okay.
So they basically broken down 10 key social media trends from 2023 and got insights from 34 of the world's leading experts. The people that they've asked to contribute to this are just unreal. They're like world's leading experts.
Can you name one of them?
I think I think I'm in there somewhere.
Oh, Dan Knowlton, leading expert.
No, we have actually got people much more clever than me that have contributed, so it's not just my brain.
Oh, bloody hope so.
So that's number 3. This is actually a whirlwind of advice, Lloyd.
It's a whirlwind of advice. Is that like when you get I can't think of what the word. Oh God!
You're
a group of animals, and it's like a strange word, like that. Yeah, like a gaggle of geese, or like I can't think of any. So it's a terrible
You're
example.
Really adding a lot to
but
this.
Here
episode.
we have a whirlwind of advice. Okay, great point. Well made, Lloyd.
Oh dear. So coming in at number 4, Lloyd.
Yeah.
It's a TikTok account.
Sorry, just laughing because I just said yes. That's all I'm adding. Yes.
It's a TikTok account called Trend Bible. Trend Bible is a TikTok account that basically talks about all of the latest TikTok trends and communicates how you can use them.
Again, that's like we were saying with the first point. It's like there's all this good stuff happening that you can look at how well it's working.
Yeah, the person who runs that account just finds the best trends and communicates them to you so you can easily emulate them. Mm-hmm. Trends is one of the things on TikTok that performs the best. So literally follow their account, look at the trends they say to do, and do them.
Will do. In at number 5, were you finished 4?
Yeah, I finished 4.
Okay. Yeah, in at number 5,
Matt Navarra's Geek Out newsletter. If you're in the marketing world, you've probably heard of this. Guy called Matt Navarra, lovely guy. I went bowling with him once. And he writes a weekly newsletter with all of the best social media updates for all the platforms and breaks it down. It's a huge email, but every single update you ever want to see each week. He's
the listeners to this podcast, they're gonna, when they next get asked, oh, what podcast do you like? I really like the Business Anchors podcast. A couple of guys, Lloyd and Dan Knowlton. Like, Dan's really good and Lloyd is incredibly handsome. And they go, oh, why do you like that? Oh, well, I found out this week Dan went bowling with a guy called Matt Navarra, which was really insightful. Yeah. That's the type of conversations our listeners are going to be having.
Well, I just thought it's a little added insight.
Do you know if you beat him or did he beat you?
Well, it was more of a group bowling. I don't know if he was.
So he beat you then? That's what that sounds like. A guy that lost at bowling. Well, it's more of a group thing, really.
But yes, go and check that out. You can just Google Matt
Bowling.
Navarro's Matt Navarro's Geek Out newsletter. It's actually on the bowling topic. Just to dive into this a bit more, it was one of those. Have you ever been to like a really fancy bowling place in London?
No, but having
It's like an all stars.
when I was in Australia.
Sorry,
I have in Sydney when I was in
okay.
Australia. Yeah.
yeah. Just I'm used to like really stinky, horrible bowling places that.
Is that because in the town we live in there is one bowling alley that could be described as that?
Yes, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But this is it was an upmarket one in London.
Nice.
Anywho,
Anyway, next, the bowling newsletter.
going in at number 6, new bowling balls. No, HubSpot. We've mentioned this loads. HubSpot is a sales and CRM system. What does that mean? It does loads of stuff, but it. Why are you laughing at me?
Sorry, it does loads of stuff.
I was about to get into it.
Yeah, okay, no.
It basically helps you track all of your leads, and it's a CRM system, so you can log all the information about opportunities you've got, and it sets you can set reminders to be nudged to take certain actions to guide potential customers from potential customer to actual customer.
And if you're in a small business or you're new to a business that doesn't have a CRM system in place, implementing something like this could be a way that you could really have a big impact.
Yes, and it has an incredibly good free version as well.
So you don't need to persuade anyone to spend money. You can just have a play with it and then say to your boss, this is really helping our business and it's good stuff.
Yeah, I think we've done ages ago. We did a whole episode on it.
Which episode was that, Dan?
I can't remember. It was about sales, like donkeys years ago.
Okay, helpful.
Coming in at number 7, we have Stephen Bartlett's The Diary of a CEO podcast.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite podcasts. Stephen Bartlett interviews experts and celebs on certain topics. We've actually done podcast episodes on some of the episodes that he's done. One of my favorites was the one that he did with
Mo Gaudat.
I forgot his name for a second. Thank you, Lloyd.
That's all right.
Who is a happiness expert who talks about the happiness equation and how to be happier. And it's a really good episode. But
what's your happiness score today, Dan?
Probably like a 7. I'm a bit tired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Out of 100?
No, out of 10.
Oh.
You?
Out of 100, I'd say I'm at like an 82. But I normally in the 90s, but I am a bit tired today.
Yes, you are,
But
aren't you?
In the scheme of things, I'm feeling good. Get me on a bowling alley and you'll push me up to 91.
Great content.
Cool.
Next one is, this is actually, Lloyd, you ready for podcast bingo?
Yeah.
This is a bit meta.
Oh, we've heard that before.
And the next one is Adobe Express, the sponsors of this podcast.
We've
And
heard that before too.
I'm not just saying this because they pay us, but it's a really good tool that can help you quickly and easily create lots of different types of social media assets.
Didn't you use it recently for a LinkedIn post based on the report from Richard van der Blom?
Yes.
And the type of content he was saying.
So
about
what Lloyd's
creating.
talking about, in Richard van der Blom's LinkedIn algorithm report, he said that document posts get, I think it was 2.2 to 2.9 times more reach than any other format of post. So you can create a document post in Adobe Express. It's basically a set of images that you download as a PDF and you upload that to LinkedIn. You'll see loads of them on LinkedIn nowadays because lots of people are doing them. But yeah.
You can easily create them on Adobe Express.
Yes. So definitely check that out. There's actually also a link to Adobe Express in the description of this podcast. So you can easily click it and go and get it.
Nice. Number 9, Dan, I've heard is a pretty good resource. We've
Number 9.
before.
It is the Friday Club. Obviously, it's a bit of self-promotion here, but every week, throughout the week, whenever I discover something good that I learn stuff from or I really enjoy, I put it in a little folder. And then on a Friday, I look at the folder and I put all of the best stuff into an email and send it every Friday. And it's free. And it's like this episode, but just every single week.
Do you think the detail about the little folder was needed?
Well, no, it just shows that I don't just Google good resources.
Yeah.
It's actually things that I'm getting value from.
I think also a lot of businesses or brands or personal brands even have other people like writing, and it's like under the Dan
their
Nelson
versions
brand
of little folders.
Friday Club, but actually your little folder is genuinely yours, and you genuinely write it with your little fingers, don't you?
I do, yes.
I witness that every week.
Number 10, the next resource. This is very specific to marketing managers, is to go and listen to episode 121 of the Business Anchors podcast, which is titled Marketing Manager Guide, How to Smash Your Marketing Role. That is literally a whole episode where we share. That got a really good response, actually, from lots of marketing managers. We break down everything you should be doing to be a really good marketing manager.
That's a really good resource. Why don't we get people to pay for this brilliant stuff?
Do you know what is actually really clever about that I've realised? That is very specific to the people we want to attract as customers. If you think a marketing manager guide, most of the people we work with are marketing managers.
Yeah.
If we create a resource that's really useful for those specific people, it brings them into our world and into our like funnel or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've actually spoke to you about this, start creating more very specific, useful content for marketing managers or CMOs or heads of marketing. Because
you people listening, you're the people we want to work with at some point. And it might be tomorrow, or it might be in 3 years when you're in a different job and you're like, oh yeah, I've been listening to these guys and I've seen all the great work they do.
In terms of work with us, what do you mean? Like, what kind of things could we do for them, Lloyd?
Well, we can do loads of things, but we create really great social first video or even TV ads for companies.
We do.
And we run paid social campaigns to make sure that they get a great return on their investment. And because of our creativity and our expertise, they get a much better return than they used to and that they get traditionally with other marketing agencies and marketing strategies. So it's really good for them.
Interesting. And have we tracked millions of pounds from the ads that we've run?
Yeah, literally millions of pounds.
Yeah.
Multiple customers have had millions of pounds of sales through the videos that we create for them and run as ads. Sometimes we run the campaigns for them. Sometimes they have that resource in-house and just use our great creative video to get all of that money.
Cool. Thanks, Lloyd.
Thank you.
Couple more resources for you. Number 11, SnapTick. I actually asked Yaz, our marketing manager, what good tools does she use. She said some of the ones I'd already mentioned, but she added SnapTick, which is a free tool you can use online to download TikTok videos without the watermark, which we found as a strategy, re-uploading those to YouTube Shorts, to Insta Reels. You've already created the content. We get like thousands of views on YouTube Shorts from some of the TikToks we've made that we've downloaded with SnapTick. It's free.
SnapTick sounds like what your granddad calls Snapchat. I can't even say it. So what your granddad calls Snapchat.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Lloyd.
That's all right.
Final one. Final one. This has been a funny episode. Agora Pulse.
That's not what it says in your notes.
What?
Agora Plus.
I spelled it wrong. Agora Pulse is a really good social media management tool. We're actually ambassadors for Agora Pulse. And I went to a very lovely lunch in London and got invited to the other day, which was nice. And
just to put it out there, we're not just talking about it because Dan gets invited to fancy lunches.
We actually use it.
We have noticed in the office lately, Dan has been going to a lot of fancy lunches and leaving us to work here.
Someone's got to do it.
But we've been using Agora Pulse a lot lately in our business, and our marketing manager raves about it because you've used quite a lot of tools over the years and tried a lot of different things, but I feel like this is the most positive that the team are being about a tool like that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Great.
And that's it.
Nice. I feel
we managed to get through these last 2 episodes, Lloyd.
That was a weird episode. I think it's a short episode.
Yeah. Great additions to this episode. Yeah. Commenting on the length of the episode.
Yeah. I'm just making it weirder, but not shorter, making it longer.
Oh dear.
Oh, I don't know whether we should keep talking or not. I think maybe we shouldn't.
Okay. So we'll
keep talking.
See you in your ears next week.
Maybe not. We might have put you off.